Let's talk about the top number 5 Googled question about medical bills. Am I protected from surprise medical bills? Ever since the No Surprise Act went into effect at the beginning of 2022, what a lot of us and a lot of patients are asking. Am I protected from unexpected bills from an emergency surgery or emergency service, emergency care that I needed, or in some situations, not emergent care? And the short answer is yes. That's what the No Surprise Act is meant to do. It's meant to protect us from unexpected bills, basically balance billing from what an out-of-network physician charges and what your insurance pays if you have insurance. So an out-of-network physician will say, you know what, we don't accept any insurance, or we're not in network with that provider. But there's a lot of private equity companies that made their business model hiring physicians, specialties that you can't pick in an emergency, like emergency room docs, radiologists, pathologists. These are all physicians and specialties that we can't pick. So there's a lot of private equity companies, physician staffing companies. And what they've said is, we're not going to take any insurance, or we're going to make our money off of charging $1,000 for what many insurance companies only pay $100 for being in network. Yeah, that's what the No Surprise Act that went into effect January 1, 2022 is to protect us from being gouged by physicians or hospital systems, medical systems providers who we cannot choose, we cannot pick, period. So that was a really huge protection. And the No Surprise Act also included, for those of us that don't have insurance, let's say you're going to talk to your orthopedic surgeon, you get the CPT code for the knee surgery they're planning on doing for you. If you don't have insurance, you can call the hospital's billing office and say, okay, how much do you charge for this? Or call the surgeon and say, okay, how much do you charge for the CPT code, right? And if the bill you get is more than $400 than the estimate, then you have, by federal law, the right to dispute payment of that bill. The bad news is, yeah, we're protected from surprise medical bills, except for ground ambulances. Can you believe it? So talk about an emergency. When do you ever need a ride, a really expensive, fancy ride in a fancy truck to the emergency room if it's not an emergency, right? So that's why when it comes to ambulance services, if you get a big bill, you've got to do the 3 steps of the only right way to pay any medical bill and automatically negotiate without really negotiating these bills. My favorite example is my best friend's daughter has type 1 diabetes. And when she was about 15, her daughter had a really nasty complication from diabetes called diabetic ketoacidosis, DKA. So an ambulance was called to transport her from the first emergency room to the emergency room where they had a pediatric ICU. Great. My best friend's daughter does well, comes home, life is good, right? Several months later, my best friend gets a bill from the EMS service saying she owes like $2,400. And she comes to me, she says, Virgie, can you take a look at this for me? It looks like my insurance didn't pay it. I said, sure, I'll look at it. And basically, the CPT code was wrong. When I looked it up, the CPT code described a non-emergent transportation. What? Wait, what? So the reason why insurance didn't pay for it is because they're not going to pay for emergent transportation that's not an emergency. So I explained this to my best friend. I told her to call the billing office back and say, yeah, I looked this up. The CPT code is wrong. You billed my insurance company for non-emergent services. They're not going to pay for this. And the response was, oh my goodness, our fault. Oh, sorry. Just disregard that. And she never heard from them again. Now, I call them politely errors, but come on. When it comes to the bills that were not protected by the No Surprises Act, meaning ambulance services, we're going to make sure we do the 3 steps of the only right way to pay for any big medical bill. And we're going to automatically negotiate without negotiating by doing the 3 steps of making sure we get, number 1, the CPT codes that are correct. 2, meaning they describe the services that you received. And 3, call back and say, yeah, this is what I'm willing and able to pay, assuming that it was correct. Ambulance bills are broken up into 2 parts for the transportation, and there's a mileage bill that goes along with it, where the ambulance services charge per mile. There's a fee associated with it. So there you go. Am I protected from surprise medical bills? Yeah, for the most part, except when it comes to transportation. When it comes to emergency transportation, we're not covered, but you know what to do. We're going to do the 3 steps, the only right way to pay any medical bill, and you're going to automatically negotiate without negotiating, and you're going to take good care of yourself. Go to medicalbillrelief.com for more support.